I am coming to you in the depths of humility today because I still have no teeth here. I have not felt strong enough, long enough to make a dental appointment and get there to get things handled, and I have 8 more extractions to do here. More than likely, these are going to all have to come out. It was not neglect on my part. I had probably $80,000 in my mouth, but due to a medication, most of you already know I say this for my comfort level, so I can do this, but most of you know that it was because of a medication that I have no teeth there, and I'm going to probably lose them all here, so I'm going to have looks like I'm going to have all dentures because the condition of the jawbone is really unknown at this time because if my teeth were in this kind of shape, I'm just not really sure what I could do about implants. So no matter how much, until they start transplanting cadaver teeth, actually there is going to be a method. They're coming up with they say that they're going to be able to grow more of your own natural teeth from the gum cells, I thought was what I read, because there are occasionally people who have tumors who have hair and teeth in the tumor. So it is possible for the cells to regenerate new teeth of your own. So that would be so wonderful. But until then, I'm going to look bad and I'm going to sound bad. So I'm just going to have to ask you to take me like I am for right now because I want to get beautiful teeth, but I really don't want dentures. But that's my option right now at the moment. Implants is not a viable option unless there's just a lot of things that can go wrong with implants from what I've seen too. But so there's a minute and 53 seconds wasted on that. Years ago, this is really, I'm telling you, I am approaching you in the depths of humility to be seen in the full light like this. It's really hard, but years ago, our cars in the 1960s and 70s, I guess, you could actually fix things on a car with a hammer or a screwdriver, and I did do that. did do that a few times. There were things that were wrong with the car that you could just kind of give it a whack and then it would work. You see people banging on things to try to get them to work when they don't work right. And one of them was a float in the carburetor, and we kind of knew how our cars operated back then because there wasn't too much to them. And I went to school in Detroit. I went to high school in Detroit, and we were all about cars. Everything we did was about cars, really. And even the girls, I think a lot of us girls, we kind of knew how things worked with the cars. So I had a stuck carburetor float on my 1965 Chevrolet. I think it was a Biscayne. But it had been my mother's car. And so when it quit working, I knew when it stopped, I knew what was wrong with it. And I got out and had a good-sized screwdriver and just smacked the front of the carburetor a few times, and then it would work. There were a couple of young guys that stopped one time and thought they were going to help me. I'm like, no, I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong with it. And so I had a little T-shirt dress on, and I bent over the front of the car. I was trying to be, modest. Bent over just far enough to whack it with a screwdriver, and I should have gotten a baseball bat and smacked this guy in the head with it. That's what I should have done. But anyway, they didn't leave until they were sure that I had it all under control, but it wasn't a good situation. But anyway, back to the story at hand. The fuel pump apparently quit on a Chevrolet, I shouldn't say that, minivan, parked in my driveway. And it's like a $500 or $600 repair. They have to take the gas tank off, take the whole thing out, take all the gas out of it, take it out, put the new one in, put it all back together, put the gas back in. It's crazy. So at any rate, the instructions came from the car guys to give it a whack with a hammer. I guess a rubber mallet was preferred, but since a hammer was handy, and just a couple of whacks with the hammer with the I can't sorry, I can't think today, with the ignition key turned, caused it to start. So we avoided a $600 or so repair with a whack of a hammer. Now, you may have some people in your life that you'd like to fix with a whack of a hammer. I think we all do. It could be a neighbor, it could be somebody you work with, it could be an instructor, college instructor, high school instructor, grade school instructor, could be a family member, could be all kinds of people that you would just like to give them a whack with a hammer, but please don't do that. It's not a good idea. Please don't give them a whack with a hammer. Number one, it's illegal. You get yourself in a lot of trouble. And number two, it won't help. Doesn't matter what you hope or wish, it won't help because they're not going to change. Like, you know, apparently all this little gas pump needed, fuel pump needed, was a little jolt, you know, to get it functioning again. Most people are not like that way. They don't work that way. Even if you could hit them with a hammer, it wouldn't fix the problem. Because most people you can't change. You're not going to be able to change what they think. You're not going to be able to change how they feel. You won't be able to change their feeling towards you. You won't be able to get them to approve of you or accept you or overlook your faults or have a better attitude toward you or stop taking out their issues on you. You won't be able to influence them probably in any way. And a lot of times you can sweeten the situation, I think, you know, with whether it's a cashier or, you know, sometimes you get a grumpy cashier or a grumpy server at a restaurant or something. And of course, you know, you could have the freedom not to leave them a tip if you want to do that. Or you can try to sweeten things. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. I've even had a couple of people get really upset with me on YouTube because of things that I've done or not done or didn't do them the way that, I mean, some people are downright abusive. They just write mean things. I haven't had very many of those, but I had a couple of people irritated with me. And I decided to be sweet. I wrote it back, and one person I thought I recognized the name, so I went back and checked the mail, and they had written something very flattering and favorable about how much they really liked the channel and loved the videos and, you know, all that kind of thing. And I thought, well, I wonder what's going on here. So I wrote back and I said, hey, oh, sorry, you can really see how bad it is now. I said, hey, what's up? I said, you know, you used to like me. And so you're having a bad time, you know, you're having a bad day. And in two different instances like that, that's exactly what it was. They were just having a bad time. And they said yes, that, well, one particular person had health issues. They weren't the same as mine, but they were having health issues, and I could certainly relate to that, you know. And but in both cases, it was, you know, a situation where they were just struggling, and they, you know, took it out on me. But I don't generally recommend that you let people do that to you. But, you know, you can cut somebody some slack if it's one of your children or a spouse, and, you know, they're not normally that way and they're having a bad time, then you can kind of cut them some slack. But it's something that goes on day after day after day, and I think everybody gets to the point where you have to realize that you can't change it. You really, if you, like I said, even if you could hit them with a hammer, don't do that. Don't do that. But even if you could, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't make the fuel pump start working again or what have you. So it might work on a minivan, but it probably will not work on anybody in your life. So I think one of the hardest things for people to accept is that you really can't change it, because even in the case, just a second, I gotta move something here. The little box I put my feet on. If you, even in the case where people have been severely abused, and I could never understand this. I think I get it now, but I could never understand this before. When a person is severely abused, a lot of times they blame the abuse on themselves. That never made any sense to me at all. I thought, why would a person blame themselves for any kind of abuse? Turns out that for their psychological comfort, well-being, that they would rather believe that if they'd only done this or only not done this or only, been a little quicker or, done a better job or whatever, that the person would not have abused them. But the reason apparently that I have heard or read that people do that is because it's easier than accepting the fact that they were a helpless, I don't want to say victim, but that they were helpless to have had any, they were powerless. Okay, powerless, that's a good word. They were powerless in that situation. It's a very painful thing to say, there's nothing that I could have done to change that situation. Now, children are often powerless in situations like that. Adults generally are going to have more choices than kids do. And you might be very slow in coming to conclusions, about what you can do or what you really need to do to change a situation where you're innocent and suffering from somebody else's choices. Now, I'm not an expert. Obviously, I'm a semi-expert in preparedness in certain, oh, there goes my screensaver, certain areas of preparedness, mostly food. But I just think it's really hard for people to accept that not everybody is going to be kind and good-hearted and patient and loving and forgiving and, have pure intent and pure emotions. And so then when you run across somebody who is, I think a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking, really? You think you tend to want to give somebody the benefit of the doubt over and over and over and over again. And I just don't think you can do that forever. I just don't think you can give people the benefit of the doubt over and over and over and over forever, because pretty soon, sooner or later you run out of endurance or whatever it takes to keep up with a situation like this. I'm not giving you any personal advice, obviously, but I will say that if you have a fuel pump that might be stuck and it might need a little jolt, use a rubber mallet carefully, and it fixed the problem. That van's been running ever since. So I may get stuck on the side of the road someday, but I have a cell phone, and I got roadside service, so I'll be okay. I can take my chances. But people, you might have to change jobs to get away from a coworker. You might have to quit the job. You might have to go to sign up for a different class, a different instructor. You might have to move. Maybe you can't change the situation. Maybe there have been people on TV who had hateful neighbors that just will not stop. You may have to move and get a different house, but it would be worth it. If you have to move, it would be worth it to do that. So I have no teeth on the top, and I can't help that today. You can help what you can, and not what you can't. But when I'm strong enough and able, I will get myself in, and then I will get it taken care of, and then I will show all of you my fancy new teeth. I think it's probably a blessing that this happened the way that it did, because I had been fighting such an awful dental battle my whole life. Just money. Like I said, maybe 80 grand. And pain and money and pain and time and inconvenience and just root canals upon crowns upon, one bridge was a total disaster because I wasn't born with that tooth. I didn't have a tooth there. Never had a baby tooth, but not an adult tooth, so I ended up having a bridge, and that destroyed the teeth around it, and just, was on and on and on. So there would have come a point, my dentist had told me that the time was coming, but that, I would have lost the battle, so I think it was a little bit less painful. I mean, they were turning colors. Most of you know already. My teeth were falling out, breaking off, crumbling, turning colors. It was just a bad situation for quite a while. But so anyway, welcome to those of you who made it through that 15 minutes. Welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. I used to have teeth. If you look back at my old videos, you'll see that I had some not too bad looking teeth. My favorite, I'm trying to remember what it was, something about Christmas miracles. Not that my teeth looked great there, but it was kind of a cute, funny video about Christmas miracles a couple of year and a half ago. So God bless you, everyone, and please don't take it personally. Please don't take it personally when somebody decides that you're not good enough, or you're not fast enough, or you're not quick enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not cute enough, or you're not thin enough, whatever. Somebody decides that about yourself, just look in the mirror and just say, I am enough. I am more than enough. And that's all I got to say right now. Over 15 minutes. God bless you in your efforts to prepare. I've been a long time not making videos. Part of that has been I haven't felt up to it, and part of it has been because I thought I had a problem. I hope this will publish now. Thought I had a problem on YouTube that was going to prevent me from making videos, and then I found out I should have watched that video. We don't have a problem yet. That's a really good story. This is such a good story. Should have watched that video. We don't have a problem yet, because I didn't have a problem yet. I just thought I did. So, bless you once, bless you twice, bless you once again. God bless your efforts to prepare. And if you have issues that you're dealing with right now, just don't give up. Things have a way of working out. Sometimes we're a little slow. Sometimes it takes us time to face reality or reach conclusions. Sometimes sometimes we're just takes a while to figure things out, but just trust yourself. I've really been enjoying a lot of the Rascal Flatts music lately. He's got an incredible voice, I think, but I've been really enjoying a lot of his music on YouTube too, and they've got a lot of there's a couple, two or three that he does that are kind of like along that vein. So enjoy. In fact, I've got two or three of them on the likes-ish section of the channel. So, well, 17 minutes. I better quit or it won't publish. God bless your efforts to prepare. Make a list. Check it twice. I'm sorry about the teeth. So you can eat more than just beans and just rice. Bye-bye. Stop recording. Boom.